Breaking news in the politics of South Africa. The ANC, that is the African National Congress, has just devised a plan to turn their fortunes around. And that plan starts with the resignation of Cyril Ramaphosa as the president of the country. Well, if yesterday you asked me whether the ANC can ever come back to lead the country of South Africa alone as a majority party, I will give you a straight answer of no. The ANC, there was no way that the ANC could ever come back to be a majority party in South Africa. I would tell you that yesterday. But today, with this plan of the ANC that they've just come up with, I cannot tell you a definite answer of no, that the ANC in 2029 will not have a majority. You see, the ANC, their issue or the problem or the demise of the ANC started in 2007. And that's where the ANC made a blunder when it comes to their succession system or how they succeed each other as president or leaders of the ANC. You'd remember that starting with Nelson Mandela when he became the president in 1994, and then he was followed by Thabo Mbeki in 1999, all of that seemed very well orchestrated. We were talking about people who were highly educated, people who had leadership skills, proven leadership skills. But in 2007, all of that changed when the ANC brought in someone that was not meant to be the leader of the country. And that person was Jacob Zuma. Now, the ANC was the first party in South Africa to actually prioritize education and leadership skills in their leaders. You'd remember that Nelson Mandela was very much educated. He was a lawyer when he became the president of the country or the president of the ANC. And you'd remember that Thabo Mbeki was highly educated when he became the president of the country, and he was the deputy president of Nelson Mandela. And it was naturally to follow that he was going to be the president or the next president because he had the skills to lead from being the deputy president of Nelson Mandela and, of course, from his education. So the ANC was on a natural path of leadership and things were going very well. But in 2007, the ANC decided to go the other way. And the issue here was that leaders in the ANC said that Thabo Mbeki wanted to run for a third term. It meant that Thabo Mbeki wanted to run as a leader for the ANC's elective conference in 2007. Thabo Mbeki raised his hand and said, I am going to contest for the leadership. And that made people like Julius Malema, who was the president of the youth at the time, to break ranks and not follow the leadership of Thabo Mbeki. And he endorsed Jacob Zuma to take over from Thabo Mbeki. And that was not planned because Jacob Zuma, not only was he not having the requisite education to lead or proven leadership skills, but he was removed in 2005 from being the deputy president of Thabo Mbeki because of the scandals that were following him. That was the arms deal that was the problem at the time. And in fact, he was actually charged for it. And so Thabo Mbeki removed him from being the deputy president. And so Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka took over as the deputy president. Now, Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka was the favorite of Thabo Mbeki, as Thabo Mbeki was the favorite of Nelson Mandela to take over from him. So Thabo Mbeki wanted for the first time in South Africa for there to be a woman president. He wanted Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka to take over from him to become the president of the country. But leaders in the ANC, like Jacob Zuma, who was feeling very much betrayed and feeling that the seat of leadership was swept right under him, and working with Julius Malema, they went and worked very well together to lobby others to ensure that they remove Thabo Mbeki from the seat of leadership. Now, let me show you the genius of Thabo Mbeki in what he was doing. Why did Thabo Mbeki wanted to run for a third term, even though he knows very well he won't be the president of the country? Because you can only serve 2 terms as the president of the country. But in the ANC, you can be the president of the ANC forever. Now, Thabo Mbeki had planned this very well. He wanted to be the president of the ANC so that Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka can be the president of the country, because he knew that the ANC first would not elect a woman president to lead them and the country. And second, he knew that the woman is not going to win. She's not going to win in the ANC. So she was not going to win as the president or to become the president of the country. So Thabo Mbeki knew that. And so he thought he should take over the leadership of the ANC as the president of the ANC. And then, without Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka winning the presidency of the ANC, she can still be the president of the country if elected by Thabo Mbeki, who would then be the president of the ANC. That was the whole plan of Thabo Mbeki. He planned it very well that Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka, by hell or high water or whatever it is, Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka would be the president of the country. He had planned and devised that very well. Unfortunately, Jacob Zuma and Julius Malema and the others, they toppled him in 2008 before his term was even finished in 2009. So this is what's happening currently in the ANC. From all that history that I've just told you, the ANC has planned to bring that plan back of Thabo Mbeki to today. They are going back in time to fix their succession issue, their succession blunder of 2007, when they installed Jacob Zuma instead of Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka, or a successor or someone who was well educated with proven leadership skills. So they're going back in time to fix their blunder. It's like they've just found a time machine to go back to 2009. Lucky for them, all the people that were supposed to lead the country, at least the leadership that was supposed to lead the country from Thabo Mbeki, is still there. So the plan is still to go exactly as it was supposed to go in 2007, going to 2009, when the country elected the new president. What's going to happen? We know that Cyril Ramaphosa has literally not led this country. He became the president of the country in 2018, and he promised us trains and smart cities and everything. None of that has happened. The country continues to collapse. The economy continues to fall apart. And crime and corruption continue to eat the country away. So basically, Cyril Ramaphosa has actually failed at his mandate to actually lead the country. And the ANC know that. The problem is that, who can they replace Cyril Ramaphosa with? There's no one in the ANC that they can use to replace Cyril Ramaphosa. But they've come up with a plan to bring the old guard back, to bring the Thabo Mbeki plan of 2007 to 2009 back into place. So what is to happen is that Cyril Ramaphosa has to resign. However, when he resigns as the president of the country and the ANC, Thabo Mbeki has to take over. Well, Thabo Mbeki is 83 years old, but he's still very well strong and his brain still works very well. So Thabo Mbeki is meant to take the reins from Cyril Ramaphosa, at least now, when they still have 4 years to fix the ANC leadership crisis. But there's one problem with Thabo Mbeki taking over as the president of the country and the ANC. Well, at least for the country, because he has served his 2 terms. When he was removed in 2008 in September, well, he was left with a few months or a year to get to 2009, where the elections were supposed to be held. So his full term was finished in the way of the Constitution. So, can he be a president of the country? The answer, or the simple answer, is no. However, the Constitution says if a person is coming in to fill for somebody, that is, if the president falls ill or the president resigns, whatever period which is occupied by the filling person or the person that's replacing the president is not considered a term of office as the president of the country. Therefore, it does not count as a term. So does that mean that Thabo Mbeki can come in and serve as a filling president for Cyril Ramaphosa? That is a little bit complicated because the Constitution says such a person who has led the country cannot even take up a fill-up position, because the Constitution is trying to solve some crisis that a smart person in the future, a clever person in the future, let me not use the word smart, well, a clever person in the future can use this loophole and become the president even for the 3rd time or for the 4th time, because they would put somebody and that somebody will be removed and they will take over and continue on to lead. So the Constitution has ensured that anyone that has led the country cannot lead again. So this puts Thabo Mbeki out of the race. So Thabo Mbeki cannot be the president of the country. But remember, let's go back to the time when Thabo Mbeki had devised a plan. His plan was that he was not going to be the president of the country for the 3rd term, but Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka was going to be while he is the president of the ANC. So Thabo Mbeki, even now, he will take over the leadership of the ANC, and Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka, or whoever it is, but I think Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka is one person who still has the credentials to lead the country, and the country needs a woman president. I mean, just for equality sake. And not only that, I think women have got good leadership skills and they're not as corrupt as men, or they're not easily corrupted as men. I'm not saying they're not corrupt, but they're not easily corrupted as men. So Phumzile Mlambo Ngcuka is still going to take over the presidency of the country for the next 4 years, while Thabo Mbeki is the president of the ANC, and overseeing the transition of the ANC from the mess that it is, the corrupt cesspool that it is, to be a party maybe that was in 2007 and from 1994 when Nelson Mandela was leading it. So this plan that the ANC has come up with has got 99% potential to bring the ANC back from the dead. Because the only thing that South Africans are looking for is leadership. They don't care who leads. If someone that can lead the country to progress, to success comes up, South Africans will take that person regardless of their race, regardless of which party they come from. They will take that person to lead the country. South Africans do not want to lead the country from their homes. They want a party or a people in government that will do their work and not steal the money. So if the ANC manages to pull this 2007 Thabo Mbeki plan and bring it to this time, they will be able to turn their fortunes around. 4 years is a long time. And I can tell you that South Africans do not have a problem with Thabo Mbeki. They don't have a problem with his leadership. Thabo Mbeki was removed because the ANC wanted to go south. They wanted to start the corruption that they've been doing since 2009 until today. So since 2009 until today, we have not really had a credible leader. because those leaders have only led to enable corruption in the country, whether it's Jacob Zuma or Cyril Ramaphosa. Their leadership have not been different in terms of corruption and the collapse of the country. As South Africans, we cannot trust the ANC anymore unless the ANC goes and cleans everybody in the ANC. If the ANC can go and get rid of people like Paul Mashatile and everybody else that has got scandals hanging on them, I tell you, everybody in the state capture report that was seen to be corrupt or found to have done a lot of dodgy, corrupt things are today in the ANC and in the ANC leadership. So if Thabo Mbeki takes the leadership of the ANC, the first thing that he would have to do to get the confidence of South Africans back is to remove all of them out. He would have to clean the slate entirely, cleanse the entire ANC of its corrupt leadership. All of them would have to go. If he can manage to do that, 2029 might be the year of miracles for the ANC. Well, tell us in the comment section as to what you think. Do you think the ANC, with this plan, they can turn themselves around? Do you think the ANC is capable of cleaning itself of the corruption that it is today, the cesspool of corruption that it is today? Are they able to fix themselves? Tell us in the comment section. Let's discuss it to see what is the way forward from South Africans on the ground. Well, this will be the end of this segment. And if you made it to this point, thank you very much. Please remember to like and subscribe.